Yes, guys, welcome back to another episode of Lion in the Room. I am your host, Leo Doce, and you know what? I can't talk too much, bro. We're in summer. I'm sweating. Don't ask me why I'm wearing a sweater. I just did not know what else to wear. But I'm feeling good. Things are cool. And do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I hope you are enjoying the podcast. We got a special episode today. Every day is a special episode, but I got a new episode for you guys. And I have a really great guy coming over from Mauritius. You may know Madagascar, but if you haven't heard about Mauritius, this is my friend Yuri. Welcome to the podcast, bro. How you doing?
Good, man. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
It's great. It's first time we met. Well, second time we met since it's been 7 years.
True, man. True. Honestly, we came in. I came in 2018. Did you come 2019?
Yeah, I came. I think a few months after you. Yeah.
So that was the January Foundation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, man. So around the time that I met you, I think I met Tino, and I also met Harman.
Yeah,
Harman,
as well. Yeah.
Cool. But now, bro, it's lovely to have you on the podcast. And like I already said, you're from Mauritius. So let's get to know a little bit about you before we get into the nitty gritty. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I was actually born in the UK. Actually, in Reading, where we are at the
Really?
moment. Yeah. I lived here until I was 7.
What would you call yourself? Like a Readingoian? Like, what was that?
I guess.
You don't know?
Yeah.
No, great.
But actually, my dad was at the university. He was studying at University of Reading, and in between I was born. And then once he was done, we moved back to Mauritius, basically, and I've literally grew up there until I was 18. So from 7 to 18, grew up there. So I did primary, secondary school, all the way up, and then after that, I came to UK, came to University of Reading for university. So yeah.
That's great, bro. So you already kind of have like your own understanding of this town, bro. Like, so I need to ask you, because everyone's always like, oh, Reading's so boring, Reading's dead. Is that true?
It depends what you're looking for. I mean, it's good enough to live. I think, like, if just to daily life, going to work, come back home, it's chill. That's really nice. And as well, in terms of prices, rent is cheap, and compared to London, at least, even like just if you want to go out, it's quite cheap compared to London. But I mean, there are a lot of things that are lacking. It's a small town, to be honest. So, but that's the thing. Like, if there's anything more that I want to do, London's not far away, so that's the advantage as well.
Everyone always says it's really good. It's easy to commute, And exactly. For me, I like Reading. Reading's cool. So, I'm gonna just let you guys know that. I think Reading's a decent place for anyone to come and live. Do business.
Yeah.
The community. It's a big community. So one way or the other, you will find something for yourself. But I also wanted to ask, because aside from where you come from, we can say that we do have our differing love for football. You know what I'm saying? Now, you guys know I'm a Chelsea fan, and we have a champion in our midst.
Yeah, at the moment.
Anything. Yeah, at the moment. Yeah, at the moment. Who knows? You guys could do the double as well with the Champions League.
Well, it would be great. I mean, it's funny because like when we met, it was sort of completely different. Chelsea was on top, Arsenal were in a
That was just
place.
after we won. So we won the Premier League back in 2017, and I remember I was back in boarding school watching this from the window of my room. And then 2018, we won the Europa League, and then Hazard says, it's a goodbye. And let's not talk about Chelsea, bro. Let's focus on you. I got a question here for you, bro. Obviously, you're from Mauritius.
Yeah.
You're an Arsenal fan. And you also have a love for rock and the electric guitar.
Yeah, that's right.
Which one causes you the most strife?
Strife as in?
Suffering.
Well, up until recently, I would have said Arsenal.
Yeah.
It's
like you've won the lottery now.
Yeah. I mean, it depends. Like, music, it depends because it's sort of, there's music as in enjoying music and there's playing music. And I feel like the playing music part over the past few years has been a bit of...
You play music?
Yeah. So I play the guitar, play a bit bass as well. I've been sort of like self-taught since, it's probably like 10 years now. And I feel that's sort of like not too happy where I'm at, right? So obviously I met a few people and we tried to jam together and I feel like I'm a bit behind. So it's one of those, like, I want to do more with it, but it's just, I don't have the time. Like, since I've finished uni and started working, it's just, for the amount of time I've been playing for 10 years, I just feel like I'm so behind. So it kind of, I still enjoy it a lot, but it causes me a bit of like yeah, I get a bit angry that I'm not
Yeah.
as good as I could have been. So
I hear that, man. You sound like a really critical guy, bro. You're very critical about where you are, where you want to be, and what you're not doing right. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. But I need to ask, who was the first guitarist that made you think, I want to do that? I want to play the guitar.
It depends. I mean, my favorite band is Green Day. But in terms of like actually wanting to explore the guitar a bit more, guys like John Mayer, he's a
Okay.
great guitarist. Is for me in the modern day, he's one of the best. And then there's obviously his inspirations like Jimi Hendrix,
Oh, yes. of
Stevie Ray
course.
Vaughan. Those are amazing guitarists. So I would say like those three is sort of like a holy trinity of like, for me personally, like the best guitarists, and really, it really pushed me to. Well, I can't play like them yet, but every single time that I look back of where I started until now, I can see myself
Yeah.
going in that direction. So
You can see improvement.
exactly,
And
yeah,
that's good, man. I think that's the way to go because as long as you're disciplined, you do sound very disciplined, especially with the fact that you hold yourself accountable for what you have not achieved or what you didn't do well.
yeah,
That's definitely a good way to go. That's a good way to look at it because whatever it is you're not able to do today, you can do tomorrow.
exactly, yeah,
It's a
yeah,
mindset that a lot of people should have, bro. And Jimi Hendrix, John Mayer, those are some great guys to
Yeah.
actually be seeking inspiration from.
Oh, those
So I
are
like that. I like
they're
that.
like gods. They're huge. Yeah,
That's lovely, bro. But now we're going to be moving into the whole point. At the moment, or for this episode, we're going to be looking at roots and identity, what it's like really living, bro, for you as a person. And for me, the next question that I wanted to ask you is, how much of who you are today comes from where you're from, Mauritius, and how much comes from the place and people you've experienced since then?
yeah. I think quite a lot because obviously, as I said, like okay, I was born in the UK, but really, I grew up in Mauritius, and I would more consider myself Mauritian than British because like if you grew up somewhere, that's the culture that inspires you, right? And that's you grow up around certain culture and people, and that's what influences you the most. So I think as well, moving to the UK, it kind of made me realize a lot of things. Like, I mean, Mauritius is a tiny country. It's small. A lot of people sort of refer islands to having a small island mentality, right? Everyone has sort of a single culture, a single way of thinking, and it's very,
Oh,
I guess, close-minded, if you will. Not to be disrespectful in any way, but it is true. Because I mean, for example, Mauritius, so small, almost everyone knows everyone,
uh-huh.
And yeah, I mean, coming to the UK, you kind of realize like there's a whole bigger world out here, and I mean, I guess it's the same for people living in the UK. You look at a place like America; it's even bigger, right? So,
Yeah.
sort of like a small fish in a big ocean, sort of situation. So yeah.
I hear it, bro. But one thing I've come to understand that it's like it depends on the level of exposure. You know what I'm saying? Like going back to what you said, like I'm more Nigerian than British because I grew up there for a good 17 years of my life, bro. Like everything I've known from morals, principles, jokes, everything that makes me who I am and possibly more is based off of my Nigerian heritage. The fact that I went to school in Nigeria, most of the friends I know are from Nigeria, like life for me was basically life in Nigeria, but now I'm out here and it's a bigger spectrum. But at the end of the day, it's kind of just like exposure because now we're being exposed to a whole lot more stuff and people get the opportunity to choose the kind of life they want to live. So
Yeah.
I do hear what you're saying, but there should be some pros that come with living in a place like Mauritius. Like, is it bigger than Hawaii, for example? Because
No,
Hawaii is an island, right?
it's I'm pretty sure it's way smaller.
It's smaller than Hawaii.
I think if I'm not wrong, it's probably like the size of London.
Oh yeah.
So it's literally the size of London, but then there's only like 1.2.3 million people that live there.
Oh.
It's tiny. Yeah,
I was
it's
gonna say
really
like
small.
I was gonna say a few hundred thousands or something. I don't know how geographical populations work though.
Yeah, I mean it's bigger than a lot of islands, but in terms of like say compared to Hawaii, it's still way smaller.
Still smaller, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. What's something people get wrong about Mauritius?
I think the most. I mean, it depends who you speak to, but a lot of times, especially here, a lot of people think like obviously you see me, the color of my skin, and you'd think that I'm maybe from India or from Pakistan or something, which is not completely wrong because my ancestors probably came around from that region.
Yeah.
But that's like maybe 200, 300 years ago.
Okay.
So I don't have any sort of links in any way
So you're not Asian.
I wouldn't consider myself to be. I'm Mauritian, right? I
Okay.
consider myself more African than.
Okay.
We might have a lot of influences in terms of food and culture and upbringing, but I think at the end of the day, the African side is more dominant, and we are parts of Africa
Cool.
pretty
Cool.
much. So
Cool. So you're black. Yeah.
I guess.
My brother just wanted to put that out there.
No, but I mean, a lot of people think that we're Indian, right?
Mm.
So I mean, I wouldn't blame you for having that misconception. And a lot of people think that, oh, well, it's just another part of India, but
Yeah.
it's a completely different country with different culture, different language as well. And yeah, so I
You
think
guys are wrong, man. This is a brother right here. Get that straight, man. Gee. Why shizzy? I need to know, bro. Have you changed more than you expected over the years? Because I've come to realize that as you grow, you do change. You adopt things, you let go of particular habits and things like that. But for you as a person, what's that like? Have you changed more than you expected?
Yeah, I mean, weirdly enough, I tend to go back on my archives on my stories
Oh, yeah?
on Instagram. I get maybe once or twice a year, and
I do it too. Don't
and
mind.
I just realize like how like you cringe a lot, I guess, like when you see the stuff that you were saying and posting and stuff, and but
Mhm.
then I guess it's natural, man. Like when I'm looking at stuff that you're doing when you were 17 or 18
I think so, yeah.
till now, but I I guess yeah, especially like since leaving university, I think those few months between like graduating and starting work, I feel like that's when the biggest change happened.
Mhm.
Sort of getting used to, well, this is my life now, and
True.
it's things are getting serious. So it builds a lot of character, and it changes you, and it molds you into what you are today. So
So you can say you've kind of changed positively?
I I, I would say it's like I've become a bit more mature.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm still completely mature. I feel like I'm still like a kid sometimes,
Yeah.
but yeah, in that sense, yeah, it's changed positively, obviously, because then you're more responsible and you're more aware of what you're doing, and obviously the consequences of the choices you're making in life as well.
Mm-hmm.
You're more conscious of that because I mean you're at university or high school and you do things or you make decisions and you don't really realize the impact it will have in the future until I guess you start growing up and you realize, okay, well, if I go down this path, well, it's actually gonna not end well. Or if I go down this path, there's some great rewards at the end of it. So
100%, bro. I agree with you because being able to look at it and say, yeah, I've become a lot more mature, even if it's just a little bit, is a positive way. There's definitely positive growth because there are a lot of people that are still not able to see what they could have changed or what they could have done differently in their lives.
Yeah.
Everybody cringes, bro. Like I can't watch a show or a scene in a show where something embarrassing happens. I cringe, bro. I'll look away.
Same.
I don't
Yeah,
watch
I'm
it.
the same.
So it's very understandable, when you look back to your life a few years back, and then you see what you feel like you shouldn't have been doing or what you're no longer going to be
Yeah.
doing now. And that's okay. I think it's okay to reflect in life. And as people, we need to have moments where we do reflect. I'll tell you a quick little story for my next question, bro, because I was going to the gym heavy in 2023. Don't worry about the circumstances, but I remember I slept off on the couch and I woke up. It was like maybe 9 p.m., 10 o'clock or something. And I'm just chilling, TV's on, and I look at my phone because Google Photos is like, pumping iron. He has a flashback. And I see myself from 2021, giving like a cringy little pose or
Yeah.
whatever. But then I see myself 2023 and I'm looking wham, bro. I'm looking big. And I'm like, is that me? No, wait, no, hold on. And I know that like it may not be necessarily the same with whatever you look back at, but I can definitely say I've grown,
Yeah.
because to do something repetitively, even if it's not going to the gym, it takes consistency and
Yeah.
it does take a level of discipline. So we can say that, yeah, man, in that time I did also become mature as well. So I
Yeah.
100% agree with you, bro. I'm in the same boat.
I mean, there's that, and also the fact that you might as well realize stuff. But I think one of the worst things that you could do is like you realize that something you're doing is wrong, or you realize that you should be doing something, but you don't do it. And I
Yeah.
think that's one of the. I mean, talking about gym, like I've been slacking off that for like the past
It happens.
years, and like I know consciously like what I should be doing. It's just that inaction that I think on that side that's sort of the negative stuff. So.
True. But as you discipline yourself, to do the thing you enjoy, which is music and playing the guitar, you can also choose to put discipline into the other aspects of your life.
Exactly.
And the
Yeah.
day you do it, it may not feel that sweet. It might go, I'm forcing myself, or
Yeah.
I'm forcing it. But after doing it a while, you might just start enjoying it. So don't feel too negative about it, bro.
No.
Everybody has the time. Everybody has the time, you know what I'm
That's
saying?
true. Yeah.
I want to ask you like a rapid fire question, very quick one. Do you think growth means becoming a different person or becoming more of who you already are?
That's a tough question, man.
Mm,
No, I think it is becoming a different person because I don't think because I mean at the same time you're so molded by your surroundings, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you have it in you by yourself that you can become who you are just like that.
Hmm.
I feel like it's your surroundings and what you take in that makes you grow and become what you are. So I don't think it's something that happens organically.
Mm. That's nice, because when I looked at the question, I was like, is it more of becoming a different person or becoming more of who you already are? And if who you already are is a negative person, then you're only going to become more of a negative person when you look at it from that perspective.
Yeah.
But you are changing because there are negatives and there are positives. And in life, you're always going to get the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
So one way or the other, whether you're choosing, whether you're letting life just happen to you, you are changing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You are
Exactly. Yeah.
changing. Oh man, jeez, bro. You talk like you're already a part of Lion in the Room, man. Jeez. Let's go into adversity and growth because as young people, or if anything, at any point at a point in your life where you are young, trying to understand the things around you, you are facing adversity because there are many people older or younger, or even if anything, the same age, who have their own perspectives of life that are trying to either put that on you or there are issues and circumstances that really just put you in a tight bind. So I wanted to ask you this, bro. What's a challenge that you have faced? What's a challenge you faced that changed the way you look at life?
And to be honest, yeah, quite a few. I think that the biggest one is probably losing my dad last year.
Mm,
That is probably the most life changing thing that can happen to a person, to be honest. And I think yeah, that definitely changed the way I looked at life and also like the way I planned forward for things. Um, and yeah, it makes you change your outlook on everything,
mhm,
because you realize things are not always going to be the way they are, so you sort of have to adapt and not just get over it, but it's more about living with those things that happen and sort of like accepting,
mm.
So I think up till now that is probably like the biggest challenge I've faced, and especially like I'm only 25, so I mean depending who you ask, it's either young or quite old, but it's yeah, for that sort of age, yeah, it's definitely like one of the hugest challenges I've faced.
Mm. Nah, man. Losing someone is tough, bro. I don't know. I've lost a cousin, my mom's mom, my grandma, she passed. And those hurt me, those changed me because those are people that impacted my life at different points. My cousin, Arsenal fan, was the one I was playing FIFA with
Yeah.
from FIFA 12. Possibly we were meant to go into FIFA 15, but we stopped at 14 and he passed away at 19, you know. Um, and that affected me so much because that was like my older brother figure, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you got my grandma who really made my mom the person that she is today, obviously with her father as well and the people that she's met. But then her passing showed me how vulnerable my mother could be, you know what I'm saying? But to God be all the glory, she's grown. She's grown, she's acknowledged, and she's doing everything in her power to live her life positively and still bring honor to her mother as well. So those kind of things are hard, man. I could never say I truly understand, But one thing I know for sure is that a father in your life, a good father, is always it's just very great to have, man. And as a person, you just have to be able to appreciate what it is they taught you and what it is they did for you at the time.
Yeah.
Because if you allow yourself to waste away, then it's kind of like a disservice, in my honest opinion. It's like a disservice to those because who knows, man? Maybe there's some sacrifice you never knew.
Yeah.
Maybe there's
Exactly. Yeah.
maybe there's some hardships you never saw. Because a mother is great, bro. They nurture, they care for you, they cuddle you, they kiss you, all that. A father, damn man. That's like that's like a guard at the gate that sees all the stuff, bro. And then you see him in the morning. Oh, how you doing? It's like, yeah, man, same stuff every day. You know.
Yeah.
So I get where you're coming from, bro. If you don't mind me asking, were there moments where you didn't feel optimistic? Like, because if I saw, like me and Shu, bro, I saw this guy, what, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and if you didn't know Yuri, you wouldn't know what he's gone through in his life. You know what I'm saying? So, like, were there ever times where optimism just wasn't the thing?
I mean, a lot of times, I guess almost every week, every day, there's a lot of times where you're very pessimistic about things. Um, yeah, I mean, from like high school, university, even now, like always, there's things where I'm like, okay, well, I have these goals, but am I actually going to be able to achieve them? And a lot of times, your expectations of where you're going to be doesn't actually happen, and reality hits you. I think, especially when you're coming to the end of university, I think that's where it hit me the most. Where I'm like, well, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go and get this job and go and do this, and I'll do this with my life, and I'll buy a house and buy a car and do all this, and then it hits you that it's not as straightforward. And I wouldn't say it's impossible, but especially in the world that we live in, like things have become way tougher, and
Sure.
it's hard to have sort of an optimistic outlook on life. So in that sense, yeah, it's difficult, but then at the same time, I guess you just have to be grateful for what you have, man. Because I got a roof over my head,
Mm.
I got food, I have enough money that I can do things I want to do, and I live in a country where I'm safe. I
Yeah,
don't have to worry about anything. So it's easy to take these things for granted. So I think
that's
when
true.
you think about that, then you're like, okay, it's not bad at all. Like I have a great life.
Gratitude, man, is such a powerful thing, bro. My auntie was telling me, because I was telling her, like, yo, I was having a hard time, like, you know, podcast, work, navigating through life. And my auntie would tell me, not disregarding what I'm saying, but she would tell me, even in the hard times, we still need to be able to. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Be gracious to God and be gracious to Jesus for what He has provided for us, because life comes and goes every day, plays no favorites. But if you give up, then shoot, life sees it and says, well, it's over for him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So being grateful for what you have and knowing that it gives you the opportunity to possibly give that to someone else, or even if it's sharing knowledge, I think that's a reason to push on. Even
Yeah.
if even if it's not 100 reasons, it's one reason that I would definitely see as something you can use. Man, it's a touchy subject, but I have one more question I want to ask you
Yeah.
here in this segment, bro. And in what ways do you think you've made your father proud?
Um. Well, the good thing is like before. Well, there's no right time for someone to pass, right? But I think at the moment that happens, I was finally on my own 2 feet. I wasn't depending on him at all. Like I graduated university, already started working for a few years, and financially sort of like independent.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in that sense, I guess as a parent, the thing that you want is to see your children sort of
To grow in it.
yeah, exactly. And you don't want to have children who are leeches,
Yeah.
whole life, or not just leeches, but just become bums, I
Mm.
guess. So um, I think in that way, yeah, sort of fulfilled what I guess the reason why he put me on earth, right? You have kids, and it's not just because for any reason. You want to pass on your legacy, to have So I think in that sense, yeah, I guess probably made him proud. Especially he was a very academic guy. He studied for a very long time,
Mm-hmm.
got a doctorate and stuff, and so for him, like education was really important. And I remember when I was not doing too well in school, like I could see it was,
Oh yeah.
I was getting a lot of like really,
Few more veins just
yeah.
popping out.
So but then when I went to university, it was kind of like a redemption arc, because I actually put my mind into it and put my head down, and came out with some really good grades. And yeah, and then I started working, and I think in that sense, yeah, I made him quite proud. So yeah.
That's good, man. I don't ask my parents for a lot of stuff. I don't ask my parents to even like do a lot of things for me. But the one thing that will always like stab me right in the heart is my parents saying that I'm proud of you. They're proud of me. You know what I'm saying? Because like my parents have always taught me that I will always represent the family, regardless of what kind of life I want to live. I am a representation of
Yeah.
my parents and my siblings. You know what I'm saying? And there's like a little flag hanging at the back of my, back of my head and things like that, showing where I come from. And for my parents to just say, I'm proud of you, even through my hardships, almost not finishing university as well, you never really expect those things to
Yeah.
happen. You think this is gonna be easy. I'm gonna coast through, I'm a party. What's gonna happen?
Yeah.
And then depression. But parents, if anything, good parents are hard to come by. So when you do have them, you appreciate them. And unfortunately, life can play a bad hand. And you can always ask why, man. And sometimes you never get the answers. But one thing that is for sure is that we can always appreciate the good that has been passed on to us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we try our best to move with that, move with it. I have another question here that I wanted to ask you, bro. So let's make it a rapid fire question.
Go on.
Do difficult experiences make us stronger, or do they simply reveal strengths we didn't know we already had?
Yeah, I think a lot of times it reveals stuff about you
Mhm.
that you don't realize.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you face stuff that you've never faced before, and how do you know to deal with them, right?
True.
So I think that's when you sort of realize,
I think so as well, man, because you have some people with that innate ability to just overcome some things, but then you put them in front of, let's say, a fly and so, oh, no, man, I hate insects. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's this case where you don't know what you can do until you try.
Exactly. Yeah.
Never say never type of thing,
Yeah.
You might actually be able to coast through it. Something that a 50-year-old probably hasn't been able to do, and you can do it at, let's not say 10, maybe 18 or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Well, broski, we can move on to the final segment. I'm enjoying this, and I'm glad that I've had the opportunity to speak with you. So let's move on to something a bit more lively, a bit more relaxed.
Uplifting.
Yeah, music, purpose, and the future.
Sure.
What role has music played in helping you become the person you are today? Everyone vibes, bro. Everyone
Yeah.
vibes, but sometimes it's a bit different.
I think it's been quite important in the sense, not music itself, but obviously I'm really into rock music, which
Mhm.
is, I mean, at least in Mauritius, like almost no one at school was into it.
Really?
It was, I mean, there was a few people, but it's very rare. I was sort of like I guess a misfit, if you will.
Was your dad into rock music as well?
Not really, but he was just sort of into everything. It was actually through him,
Oh,
he
yeah?
was listening to a bit of U2 and Keen and stuff like
He's a
that.
bit
And
like me then. He's into everything,
Yeah.
bro. Because oh man, you might find me listening to some Brazilian tunes, some Japanese pop.
Okay.
Like every now and then I do like me some Mai Yamane. Like I get that, but let me not cut you and continue.
Yeah, so I mean, with me, it's mostly rock, and I mean, I love pop as well, like what
Mhm.
we call white girl music these days.
Oh, yeah?
But back in the day, I used to love it so much, but I couldn't really say
Last
because
Friday night.
exactly, I
songs like
used to love
that.
Katy Perry, but back in the day, if you said that, it was sort of like a guilty pleasure. No one was supposed to know, otherwise they would clown you. But I always loved that as well. But I think that's sort of like where my limitations with the music remains. But yeah, as I was saying, I was sort of like a misfit. But the great thing is like I accepted who I was and the stuff that I enjoyed. I didn't change myself based on anyone's opinion, and I think staying strong with that was quite important because I think for everything else, like having your own opinions about things and being able to enjoy what you truly enjoy is something that's important because I know a lot of people who try and hide the true selves just to please others, which I've never tried to do. So I'm quite grateful in that
You're not a
sense.
people pleaser. Respect.
Exactly, man. It's like
Respect.
if I do something, it's not to be narcissistic, but I do it for myself foremost. And as long as it's not harming anybody, you should be doing stuff that makes you happy and enjoy. So yeah.
That's good, man. I wouldn't say I used to be a people pleaser. In Nigeria, we used to call it follow follow. It's like,
Okay.
yeah, so being a follow, it's like you want to be friends with everybody. You want everyone to kind of know you as a cool guy or just someone worth being friends with. But then that always just opened you up to being taken advantage of. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now I've gotten older and I've come to understand that not everyone's gonna like you. Some people that you may not like may like you,
Yeah.
but you now have to find what you want. You know,
Yeah.
when it comes to music, you find what you like. Some people don't like my music. That's cool. I don't like yours. You know, that kind of thing. And
Yeah.
you realize that with life, you need to be okay with being your own person. And you also need to be okay with people not respecting the kind of person you are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Because
saying?
I mean, the great thing is when I came to UK, eventually I started going to concerts and stuff, and I realized like, well, actually, there's like thousands of people like me, and got to share great bonds, and I made great friends, like going to concerts,
Mhm.
going, going to different events and stuff. So it's yeah, it's been important like to stay true to yourself, and yeah, it's something that I really enjoy, and obviously like when you're down or you're feeling happy, it always helps.
Yeah.
It's a great way of sort of like uplifting yourself from like sort of bad thoughts,
True.
bad emotions, and when you're feeling good, it's a good way of amplifying that feeling, right? So
Exactly. You're that silver lining in the cloud, you know what I'm saying?
exactly, yeah.
Let's look at something a bit more fun, bro. If your life right now had a soundtrack, what song would be playing?
Right now,
Like for me, 2021, it was For Your Eyes Only, J. Cole.
okay,
Playing around that time, that was my soundtrack. You see Leo, For Your Eyes Only.
it's a good question. It's quite a few, but I mean a song that I really love, and I guess I've been listening to a bit recently is "More Than a Feeling" by Boston.
Okay.
It's a
I'm
great
gonna have
song.
to listen to that because I thought I knew the song, but then when you now mention Boston, I don't know it, no.
You might. It's probably been on a
More Than a
soundtrack
Feeling.
of a video game, or maybe one of the songs on that album was in, I think, GTA San Andreas or
Oh
something,
yeah? Okay.
possibly. So, but no, it's a great song. And
I'm gonna let you know, I never played GTA San Andreas.
have you not?
No, so basically, my mom, she was not the one. She don't play with those kind of games, bro. My dad got me Dante's Inferno for PSP.
Okay.
My mom found out and she broke it in front of me.
Oh no.
You can't be playing these demonic games, bro. And I'm like, I cried. I
No,
cried.
understandable.
But you know, with GTA, my cousin had GTA. He had GTA on his computer, had GTA on his PSP. I had another cousin, shout out my cousin Andrew. And they would be playing. Andrew was always a chill guy, you know, he would always try and bring me into the fun. But then my other cousin knew what my mom was like. You know, my mom's not a
Yeah.
tyrant, bro. But when she says no, she means no.
Like,
So I never got the chance, bro. I didn't even play GTA 5. Like,
have you not?
no, but you know, I might play GTA 6. So I ain't gonna lie. That game's
Well, you got
looking
time
crazy.
till it gets released, so you can
That's
catch
a
up on
2030
it.
thing,
Yeah.
bro. Oh, bro. All right, man. Let's go into something deeper. Because I've come to realize that things are still quite kind of hard. But what do you think people your age are searching for the most right now?
I mean, not to be too deep, but I guess purpose
Mm-hmm.
in life, because I mean, trying to think about like my parents' generation, like you'd work hard and you'd be able to afford a house, a car, and have a family, right? Have children.
Basically, their purpose, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But these days, it's pretty much impossible. It's very very difficult to do that. Even if you have a top job and you work really hard, it's still very difficult to afford a good lifestyle and
Mm-hmm.
even to have children. It's like most of the friends that I know that's my age who have children, it was unplanned.
Unplanned.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so none of my friends who are in serious relationships can even think about saying getting a place together or anything like that. So in that sense, if you don't have that to look forward to, well, what can you look forward to in life? What's your purpose in life? So I think yeah, looking for purpose is probably a huge challenge for a lot of people. So
Because everyone's chasing, bro. You open social media, you see something that you don't have. You open
exactly, yeah,
social media, you see something that you wish you were doing. You open social media, you see a view of the world you've never seen.
yeah,
And boom, life isn't fair to me.
yeah. And I
And
feel like a lot of people fill it with things that are just bad for them. Like okay, it's I'm gonna be a hypocrite by saying that, but like, going out and partying and drinking, it's like it's good, but I think the amount that people do it now is
Mhm.
just it's self-destructive, not just to them but to society as well. It's not productive. It's not taking anyone anywhere. So
Well, they do say
yeah,
that, you know, all things, well, the Bible says all things are permissible, but not all things are necessary,
yeah,
you know? Because, shoot, man, if you told me that I'd be giving you this bottle nice little drink, bro, but it's gonna get you so wheezy and tipsy, and you might pass out if you drink too much, but you're gonna enjoy the night. Are you
Yeah.
gonna really drink that? I heard Tom Holland say something like that, and when he was talking about how he was reducing his alcohol
Yeah.
intake, and you come to realize that, it's okay to have fun, but then if too much fun is gonna be, like you mentioned, destructive, is there really a point to going through this excessive amount? That's
Yeah.
just me, nothing excessive. And sometimes we do sound like hypocrites because first year, bro, like I think people called I was bait, bro. Like everyone knew me. You go to a party, you're gonna see a Leo guy there, bro. You see me there.
Yeah.
And that was okay. Because I think we saw ourselves in first year or something, probably once or twice,
Possibly. Yeah.
possibly. But then after that, you're just going to different parties. Oh, bro, there's a motive here. Oh, bro, there's a motive there. Oh,
Yeah.
I got a presentation tomorrow. Oh, you there.
Exactly. Yeah.
God have mercy. It was terrible. But yeah, no, man, you know, we need to be able to say no. We need to be able to tell ourselves when to stop, when it's
Yeah.
okay, and try and find other things to do with our lives so that we can take the time that we need to relax, take the time that we
Yeah.
need to just.
I mean, there's a great interview that John Mayer did where he ended up saying, well, if he was a heavy drinker, he was getting drunk like almost every single night, and
Yeah.
he was like, well, he realized he's sort of limiting his ability to be the best person possible, the best in his field. Like he wants to be the best guitarist possible,
Yeah.
and to achieve 100% of that, like drinking and all these distractions is like bringing him down. So if he wants to be at the top,
Mm-hmm.
you
He
need
has
to
to.
make some sacrifices, and it's not just for like a single thing, but I think for yourself to be the best possible version of yourself,
Mm-hmm.
you need to sort of like realize, okay, this is too
Be able
much.
to set boundaries for yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
I agree, bro, because that's still discipline, being
Yeah.
able to set boundaries for yourself. It's something that's hard to do. Even with me, man, I still need to set boundaries in my life. But if you're willing to do it, then I think it's going to be beneficial.
I don't think it's just if you're willing, because I mean, there's also the fact that it's about who you surround yourself with as well.
Yeah.
Can be a limiting factor, because I know a lot of people who they want to change their lives and do better things, but they're still hanging out with the same people, and those people also like dragging them down.
Mhm.
So it's that as well. It's your environment, and cutting off friends is one of the hardest thing you can do.
Did you have to cut off all your friends?
Luckily not, and even those that I don't really speak to these days, it's not out of choice anyways. Like we just do distance, we don't really speak. So
Yeah.
not saying that all people around me are great influences, but I feel like I don't really need to cut them off to become a better version of myself.
Oh, yeah?
They're not, because there are people that can be very toxic to the point where you don't have any
need
control
to
over
just,
your life.
let go of them.
Yeah.
Bro. You need them to let go of you sometimes. I hear it. I think I've cut some people from my life. Some people have cut me from their life.
Yeah.
And it's always going to be vice versa. But like you said, maybe we don't need to cut people off to make the choices in our lives. Maybe we need to be able to see what we're not doing right in our lives, and then possibly see how people around us are now affecting us
Yeah.
as well. But there are some people like, hey, yo, you are a problem. The door's over there.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Door's over
I mean,
there.
at the same time, like if you're trying to change, you can also try and influence people around you to change as well. Like be that,
Sure.
inspiration for others.
And this is why he's online in the room. You know what I'm saying? Well, Bursky, we have reached the end of this episode, and I don't know, man. I'm a polite guy. I really do appreciate you coming on. It's great to rekindle this friendship.
Of course, yeah.
We're gonna keep it going, but I want to ask you a closing question, bro. So I still have a closing question, but I do have another question after that. There's another wild card question. So let me ask you the wild card question first. What's a belief you had at 18 that you completely disagree with now?
Belief. I mean, I guess life was gonna be very easy.
Oh yeah, yeah. Everyone has to let go of that.
Because I guess I was probably really naive, probably like everyone else was. I guess especially at that age, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, I'm never gonna work for someone. I'm just gonna build my own business. I'm gonna become really rich." And I think that's probably on the money thing. I came to realize like chasing money is not that's not my purpose in life, and that's not what I want to do. And it's more about, experiences and being around good people and
Mhm.
having good times more than, you know, am I gonna go and do a job that's gonna pay me like £1 million or something? I don't really care about money, because at the end of the day, when you're gonna be old, it's like you're not gonna remember how much you worked or how much money you made. It's those experiences that you had with people.
Mm.
So
So you don't regret, man. Yeah, the moments and the experiences, those are what you remember, if anything. If you have a good pension, that's cool. But like, if you ain't got no good moments, bro.
no, obviously, like, money is important,
Yeah.
but
No,
yeah.
without money, you're dead.
I'm not saying to be financially responsible and just like blow all your money away, but at the same time,
It's not everything.
it's not everything, yeah. And it's sort of answers that is money happiness sort of
Yeah.
question. It can bring you great things, but I feel like it's not
Yeah,
everything.
It's not. I won't call it happiness. It's a means to achieving or
Yeah,
acquiring things, but it's not happiness.
yeah,
This has been great. But closing question. If someone around our age or younger is going through a difficult season right now, what would you want them to know? Simple words.
that's tough because like even for me, like going through tough moments, you're like, what could
What would you want? What would you, I don't know, like, what would you tell someone that you would want them to tell you?
it's difficult because like I mean obviously when someone's going through stuff like only that person will really know,
Yes.
and it's easy to just be like, yeah, it'll get better, it'll be fine. Like, but in the moment, it's very difficult to see that, I guess. So it's a tough question, man.
That's
Yeah,
okay. For me, I guess because I've come to understand that as a person, I get joy.
yeah,
I get happiness or satisfaction from being able to help people.
yeah,
I would say that I'm here for you, not because I know everything, like we've already discussed, but because I want to be able to help, to make things easier, because I truly believe that being together means that you're sharing the burden.
yeah,
you know a problem halved is a problem solved, and sometimes it's hard because you have the people that are like, you don't know my problems, you don't know my issues, and it's like, I don't, but we can get out of it together. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? So it's not like I'm telling you, oh, bootstraps, tie them up, or get up, come off the mud. It's hard sometimes
yeah,
to get out of it, man, because sometimes you may have fallen in the mud a bit too many times and you're like, well, you know what, forget it. But I want people to know that I'm there for you, because there was a time where I couldn't do it. I couldn't come out of it. But there was someone who was there for me. It's only right for me to be there for someone
yeah.
else.
No, of course, yeah,
So, man, I need to close it here, bro.
yeah. No, it's been
We
great.
I used to go for episodes over like an hour 45, but then no one's watching. So,
No,
had to
yeah.
drop it to 45 minutes,
Short and
30
sweet
minutes.
is the way to go, I guess.
Exactly. And you have what's that, man? You've done it. You've done. Sometimes you can't even remember the big English, bro. I was about to say something like, "Oh, you have epitomized something." I don't know, bro. But hey, honestly, Yuri, thank you for being on the podcast, man.
Great, my
You
pleasure.
and your experiences, well, sharing your experiences, will be able to show people that life is not easy. Life is not cozy, all the time.
Yeah,
Hardships come, but you can still make good choices through those hardships, because there were those that came before you that made the good choices to put you where you are.
yeah,
And you don't owe nobody, but honestly, in an act of goodwill, you should live your life honoring what that person has done for you. And being a family member, it's only right.
yeah. And I
Hard
mean,
times come.
for there to be good times, there needs to be hard times as well.
Yes.
Life can't always be,
True. That's
sunshine
very
and
true.
rainbows. It's going to be tough, but it can be equally as good.
Exactly. I love that. But yeah, people, this is the end of our episode on Lion in the Room. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for listening. I'm your host, Leo Edoche Jr. This is my boy, Yuri. Thank you for being on the podcast. I'm going to have his Instagram and any other socials in our description, so do not forget to check his page out. I can't lie, he's got some crazy riffs. They always catch me off guard. So go check him out. He's got an amp in his room, bro. Like, he is dedicated. But yeah, this is the end of our podcast, man. Take care of yourself, people. I'm trying to change up the style, making it a bit easier, short and sweet. But don't forget, Jesus loves you. That's just what I'm saying. But take care, people. I am done. Peace.